general observation and narrative. So I observed at Columbia Elementary in a first grade classroom. The school is gated, and kinder and first grade, it is indoors. You have to be buzzed in to get inside. Setting the description is a suburban area. There's many houses surrounding the school. 38.1% of the students are English learners, 98.2% are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and the school is Title I. Analysis and conclusion. As I searched up Columbia Elementary before heading into observations, many preconceived notions ran through my head. The fact that 98% of the students are socioeconomic disadvantaged led me to think that the school was in a bad area and that all the kids would have behavioral issues. I also looked up how, as a school overall, their language skills and math skills were kind of on a low level. So from that, I kind of assumed that they would all be on low levels of their learning and education. So one thing I wanted to compare is her math lessons and how it would compare to the 5 E's that we learned in class. So engagement, she would kind of just do a review in class. Exploration was more hands-on. She would give students like little worksheets like the ones showing the pictures on the side, and she would use like these little cubes, kind of hands-on activities to try to determine like whether you add or subtract with word problems and things like that. So explanation, she would kind of just walk around when they were doing their hands-on activities, and she would just elaborate more on things when they would be struggling and answer their questions and things like that. On elaboration, she would do a review session, and it was really student-centered. She would put up problems, and the students would try to answer them as quickly as possible because there was no shouting out allowed. And with evaluation, she would do a formative assessment. She would give the students about 5 to 6 problems to solve, and then she would grade them at the end. Analysis and conclusion, section B and C. So the technology that I observed in the classroom would be an overhead, a television, and laptops. She would use the overhead to kind of just demonstrate what she was doing, the television to show videos and relaxation videos after lunch when the kids were kind of rowdy, which I found pretty interesting. She would also use the laptops provided by the school. They would do like this website called iReady, and then they would do learning games. For classroom management, she would kind of calm the kids down by bribing them with like goldfish or pretzels. She would do prizes every single Friday with little tickets that she would hand out throughout the week. She would have a behavior chart, so the more well they behaved, the higher on the chart they would be. And then she would also do group points for tickets as well. So during math time, to control the kids, she would ask them to go on the carpet, and they would bring out their whiteboards, kind of just to keep them engaged. And then for learning their sight words and language arts, we would use like these little booklets on the side. So it was like a list, and then they would have to learn how to read these words by playing these games on the 2 bottom pictures. We would use a lot of flashcards and like the little games right here to kind of get their interest in these sight words. Okay, question 3, conclusion and reflection, section A. So the goals of the school was kind of just to get kids to improve their education by actually trying and things like that. Expectations of behavior. One thing I found interesting about the school overall is that they had this little pause acronym, and P would stand for practice responsibility, A would stand for act respectfully, W would stand for work hard, and S would stand for stay safe. B, understanding school achievement, what the school did to support and engage student achievement. One thing that they did was awards assemblies, so that kind of encourages students to try better, so that they can show their parents, family members, things like that, that they're doing good in school. So it's a motivational thing. And question 5, I felt like children were treated equally. From the first time I observed, I noticed that 3 specific students were not offered equal fair opportunity because they would kind of distract other students. I would wish to have seen more effort from the school overall to kind of push those students to do their work and things like that. Then part C, the multicultural education. So I found this school very multicultural. One thing that stood out the most to me about their culture was that they did this talent show, and in the talent show, the kids were able to show a lot of their culture by doing like these dances from whether like Mexico, Africa, whatever. And it was very interesting to see. And then part B, social justice and education, was shown in this school as well. During my observations, I never saw anything that went against social justice. What surprised me was, as I mentioned before, I spent a lot of one-on-one time with the students, focusing on their sight words and things like that. One thing that excited me was that at my last observation, the teacher did tell me that I'm doing a very good job with the students, that their reading scores are going up, and that was very nice to hear. Section D, what I learned so much from this experience. Teachers have to step out of their comfort zone and adjust to what their students are learning and how they learn and things like that. You have to be able to have a lot of patience. And one thing I did have to question is that whether I want to teach first grade. I was leaning more towards 5th grade, but now I'm considering first grade once again.